L stood guard while O spliced the lines. Sad. King, the author of horror novels such as Pet Sematary, Carrie, wrote this tweet. It's kind of like a tweet-length horror story directed at the president. Trump should know Obama never left the White House. He's in the closet. He has scissors. Big critic of Trump, Stephen King. And he compared the president's administration to a comedy movie. This all politics aside, the Trump administration reminds me of that Tom Arnold movie, The Stupids. Really, you guys? This is embarrassing. What's embarrassing is us losing our country. What's embarrassing is allowing morons to dictate to Washington and to the rest of America how should we live and how we shouldn't live. We want to have a free, prosperous country for all, not just some. And unfortunately, Hollywood is just the elitist some and the fews. And there's the has and there's the has-nots. And unfortunately, the has-nots, it's bigger divides than ever before. And that's the reason for a lot of our problems that we have. It happens to be with greed and from politicians that make these shady, dodgy deals, as the English say, in Washington, that have sold us a bill of goods that's a bunch of crap. And finally, real Americans, black, white, Hispanic, any race, face, size, shape, finally got smart to all of this, and they realized the difference between going to a Hollywood epic movie and what reality is every day because they have to live it. We're out here in the trenches. We're digging those holes. We're trying to pay our bills and our taxes, and we see what our politicians have not done for us. They promise us, if you've been around for enough campaigns, you start realizing a lot of it just smells, and it's mostly rhetoric. Well, Donald Trump's different. Donald Trump actually has put his money where his mouth is, no pun intended. But actually he's doing things that actually will protect our country, will keep us safe. Rex Tillerson started off this morning press conference talking about the travel ban. Here he is.
On immigration, let's listen in.
Protecting the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States is a vital measure for strengthening our national security. It is the President's solemn duty to protect the American people. And with this order, President Trump is exercising his rightful authority to keep our people safe. As threats to our security continue to evolve and change, common sense dictates that we continually reevaluate and reassess the systems we rely upon to protect our country. While no system can be made completely infallible, the American people can have high confidence we are identifying ways to improve the vetting process and thus keep terrorists from entering our country. To our allies and partners around the world, please understand this order is part of our ongoing efforts to eliminate vulnerabilities that radical Islamist terrorists can and will exploit for destructive ends. The State Department will coordinate with other federal agencies and implement these temporary restrictions in an orderly manner. Our embassies and consulates around the world will play an important role in making sure that our nation is as secure as it can be. And the State Department will implement the provisions in this order that allow for the admissions of refugees when it is determined they do not pose a risk to the security or welfare of the United States. Upon the President's initial executive order issued on January the 27th, the State Department's Consular Affairs and Diplomatic Security offices immediately undertook a review in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security to identify additional measures that would strengthen our vetting of those seeking entry to the United States from 7 named countries. These early efforts were concentrated on Iraq. Iraq is an important ally in the fight to defeat ISIS, with their brave soldiers fighting in close coordination with America's men and women in uniform. This intense review over the past month identified multiple security measures that the State Department and the government of Iraq will be implementing to achieve our shared objective of preventing those with criminal or terroristic intent from reaching the United States. I want to express my appreciation to Prime Minister al-Abadi of Iraq for his positive engagement and support for implementing these actions. The United States welcomes this kind of close cooperation with countries in every region of the world who share our commitment to national security. This revised order will bolster the security of the United States and her allies. Now, we've spent the morning briefing the Congress, the press, and we will continue to talk with key stakeholders this afternoon. Experts from the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, and the State Department hosted an hour-long call with the media on this topic this morning. Our collective teams will continue throughout the day to follow up with the Congress, the media, and stakeholders to answer your questions.
All right, that's Rex Tillerson, and there was this morning, not too long ago, talking about the travel ban, the new one that seems to make a whole lot better sense. And, if you're a visa holder, use your visa. If it's been approved, you get in and out. And then the Iraqis, which was really a difficult situation, allows people in and out that have been fighting courageously along with our soldiers in and out. And it's a better... It's revised, it's been thought, and there's no stopping this one. This just is going to help with the vetting process, and it's sensible. And I think Rex did a nice job putting that together. Jeff Sessions weighed in a little bit later on afterwards, and we're going to hear from Jeff Sessions a little bit. But the bottom line is as much as the garbage that you hear that's been spewed out of the media, whether it's Russia, and then the more garbage that is found out from the Obama administration trying to sabotage. And exactly that's what it is. If you really boil it all down to everything that's happening post, it's trying to discredit as much as possible any way that they can possibly do with these leaks to discredit, undermine his cabinet, undermine his administration, in any way that they can possibly do it. But the thing is, it's been backfiring. And I believe it will continue to do so as they continue pushing it. But this is the best that they can do. And believe me, the media is loving every single minute of it. And if it's proven that there is evidence that showed that the Obama administration was responsible for that, they're not going to hold him responsible. They're not going to ask him to be court-martialed. Are you kidding me? This guy will get a pass. If Hillary Clinton got a pass for all the thing, and her husband for accepting the money from foreign donations and all that, don't be surprised. He'll get excused 100%. That's just how our world works here in the United States, and it doesn't seem fair, does it? No wonder people were fed up with the status quo. No wonder why Donald Trump got in. It started making way too much sense. It really does. We'll be back with more For the People after this.
Help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people, for the people, for the people, for the people is there.
It's unlike anything you've ever been through in your life, man. I was driving. This kid threw a grenade at us and went right over our vehicle. It was 12 years old.
The shockwave went through my head, rattled up my brain, and left.
Danger is around you 360 degrees at all times, and you can't unlearn that.
It's impossible to describe the sacrifices these men and women have made to protect our freedoms. And the job of rebuilding their lives is massive and growing every day. Many will need the programs offered by the Wounded Warrior Project for years to come.
I didn't know what PTSD was. All I knew is I was having nightmares. And when I got released, my reintegration was go check in at the VA, man.
My first coping mechanism was use drugs. Just numb it. Don't feel anything.
I was angry. I'm trying to pull myself out of that right now.
Your gift today of $19 per month will honor and empower these veterans so they can aid and assist each other.
The Wounded Warrior Project is a life raft.
I can say this without question that I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for it.
Women Wear Project is the first step, getting back out into the world and reforming yourself outside of the service.
Call or go online with a pledge of $19 a month. You'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket, and your gift will provide critically needed programs that rebuild lives.
That was my first feeling of actually being a part of something bigger than myself again.
Well, I lost a few really close friends overseas, and if I quit, I'm going to let them down, and I'm not about to do that.
I'm learning to face my fears head on. To trust and see what happens at the end.
It's a long process, but I had the drive and desire.
Please, call or go online with your gift right now.
For the People has a special opportunity for you. If you own a business and want to gain a national audience that is loyal and will do business with you, imagine being able to get your product and or service into the hands of tens of thousands of people each week. Sponsorship opportunities are now available at rates you can afford. Finally, the show you love with your business supporting what we do in partnership. Start running your commercials today. To contact us, go to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. For the People is on the air for you. Each day we strive to tell it to you straight, not watered down, so you can know what's going on each day. Our show is different from many of the others on air. We're not afraid of the PC police, and we explain our position, at the same time understanding the left's position and what we can do to further a conservative agenda for America. For the People is listener-supported and relies on listeners like you to help us get the word out. So, if you like what we do and want to help For the People, sign up today at our website at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Your support allows us to report the news fearlessly and guarantees our survival on the air. As a thank you, we'll send you our monthly newsletter with commentary and money-saving tips. Can we count on your support? Thank you for helping America. To become a For the People member, log on to forthepeopleshow.com. Now, and ladies and gentlemen, For the People continues. Our website is forthepeopleshow.com, listener supported. For the People, it's March, and when March comes around, the winds start blowing. And in Florida, we've been having some wildfires, 670-acre fire that engulfed an underdeveloped land in both the north and south sides of Southwest 8th Street. That's Southwest Miami-Dade. Yesterday, according to Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, Southwest 8th Street from 137th Avenue up to 13th. Yeah, it's 137th to 177th Avenue reopened to vehicular traffic late Sunday night, but due to the smoke, very low or no visibility in the surrounding areas north and south of Southwest 8th Street. So it was a big disaster, and with the winds kicking up at 25, 30 miles an hour, you can imagine flames, man, was no joke at all. And then at 2 p.m. Sunday, a total of 12 fire rescue units were on the scene battling the fire. At the point, the fire encompassed several square miles of this undeveloped land, as they're calling it. The land affected is composed of mostly grass and some trees. Unfortunately, officials explained that the high winds were making the fire difficult to control. Peak gust there, 40 miles an hour. So it increased. I do not like when the winds of March when I'm cycling, man. It's like the brakes are on. But as a good cyclist I am, I fight through the wind even. But the way home was nice. Wind in my back, and I was flying like the wind, literally. So it was a beautiful thing. Iran testing our brass once again, not a shock, but had it again, 2 ballistic missiles. And the reason they launched these things to find out what Russia gave them to test their missile system that they bought for $1 billion or so worked. And apparently the missile tests were successful. What was it, 155 miles away, 2 U.S. officials with knowledge of this launch, they said one missile destroying a floating barge 155 miles away. This goes against everything that was sought